Hey guys, gals, and pals, Mr. Obvious here. And today, I have a very important story about the largest teachers union in America approving a measure to teach critical race theory in all 50 states in over 14,000 school districts. My friends, they are brainwashing children with Marxism, and this is happening here and today. Now, this story is very important for parents out there and concerned citizens who are worried about what is being taught in these schools. White children are being taught that they are to blame for all of America's problems, all of society's problems, and should be shamed. They are shamed by these teachers teaching Marxism on a daily basis. Meanwhile, these same teachers are teaching African American children and children of color that no matter what they do, they will never succeed because of the color of their skin. It's some of the most racist stuff you've ever heard, but they're teaching it to these children, indoctrinating children, and we need to talk about it, folks. So here we are on the Daily Mail. Headline: America's largest teachers union backs teaching critical race theory to children, says it will fight those who oppose the move, and calls for an October rally to commemorate George Floyd's birthday, among other things. There's a lot to say about this, but for many years, teachers have been making the claim that we're not teaching children critical race theory, we're not teaching Marxism. School's not just an indoctrination center for children to be brainwashed with woke nonsense. But it is. So, I want to show you this. Here on NBC News, teaching critical race theory isn't happening in classrooms, according to teachers in a survey. They say, quote, "We don't get it. The objection is being pushed upon us, and it's not even happening in our classes," an English teacher in the Phoenix area said. So according to this article, many teachers around the country say that critical race theory is not being pushed in our school, therefore it's not happening. Wrong. It is happening, and we have proof. So let's just jump right into the story. By the way, if you're new here, remember to smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon for notifications for more content. Here, the story begins. The National Educators Association recently approved a resolution to promote critical race theory through its existing channels, work to fight back against opponents of the practice. It also wants to assemble a team to teach it to union members and create a national day of action to start a dialogue about systemic racism on October 4th, George Floyd's birthday. The resolution reads that the NEA will provide an already created in-depth study that critiques empire supremacy, anti-blackness, anti-indigeneity, racism, patriarchy, cis-heteropatriarchy, capitalism, ableism, anthropocentrism, and other forms of power and oppression at the intersections of our society. Okay, quite a mouthful there. Quite a word salad. But the NEA is basically talking about promoting Marxism. Absolute garbage nonsense that led to the communist revolutions in places like China and Russia. Essentially, these Marxist ideas are straight out of the communist playbook, and this is what they're teaching in schools. They are using identity politics to do this, dividing white people against minorities and vice versa, forcing white children to hate themselves, and for minority children to believe that there is nothing they can do to succeed in the current system. The story continues to say that the NEA plans to publicly, through existing media, convey its support for the accurate and honest teaching of social studies topics, including truthful and age-appropriate accountings of unpleasant aspects of American history, such as slavery, and the oppression and discrimination of indigenous, black, brown, and other peoples of color, as well as the continued impact this history has had on our current society. So they're basically talking about teaching anti-white teachings. Never mind that white people were also slaves in our history. Almost every group on Earth has been enslaved at some point in time. There was white slaves, there was black slaves, there was green slaves, there was blue slaves. Everybody's been a slave. Come on. For those of you who know real history, you know that there was many people who are white who were oppressed. Poland is a good example. The Polish have been historically oppressed for decades. Yeah, it's only the minorities. It's only them that critical race theory and Marxism focuses on. Why? Because it's a propaganda tool to use against white people, the dominant population, to destroy the system and install Marxism. If you're a parent, if you're an adult, if you're a person, you should be deathly terrified of this massive propaganda campaign. And now they're going to be teaching it in all 50 states, 14,000 school districts. Let's take a look at the new business item 39 proposal, which has been adopted by the NEA. They say, this is how you know this is absolute propaganda. They say A, share and publicize through existing channels information already available on critical race theory, CRT. They don't say progressive ideas. They don't say, we're going to help minorities. They say critical race theory, CRT. And then they go on to say, have a team of staffers for members who want to learn more and fight back against anti-CRT rhetoric. Folks, this is a cult. It is a Marxist cult designed to brainwash an entire generation of children. They go on to say that the rationale slash background for this is that USA's economy slash social order is built on the interactions between different cultures and races. To deny opportunities to teach the truth about black, brown, and other marginalized races minimalizes the necessity for students to build efficacy. The ancient African proverb says, know thyself. I'm pretty sure that's not exclusively an African proverb, but I digress. Here's a big issue. They're acting like minority people, which really are not a minority. I mean, if you look at the numbers, the world population of Africans or Asian people, they vastly outnumber Western white people. In fact, globally, you could argue that white people are a minority. And you have these other countries, for example, China is majority Chinese, Africa is majority African. Why is it such a bad thing if there are countries with majority Caucasian? There it is, the light bulb moment. These critical race theorists and these Marxists simply want to destroy the white West, to install communism. This is what happens every single time. They find some sort of issue, in America it's race, and in Europe it's race, and they use that issue to take over society. So it's very clear to anyone with half a brain what they are trying to do here. Now, as of late, more and more people are becoming aware of what critical race theory is and why it's so dangerous. We have more and more parents standing up and protesting against this Marxist movement. Here you can see some pictures where parents are protesting critical race theory. You've had prominent African-American men and women who have said, look, I don't like this stuff. There was a recent video of a guy who was like a doctor or something, and he ran like a whole business, and he was saying, why are you teaching my kids that they cannot succeed because of the color of their skin? I'm the boss. I'm literally like upper class. How dare you tell my children that they cannot succeed? I have succeeded. I am proof. And you've had many more stories like that come out. More parents, more people shouting out against this nonsense. Now, as of June 29th, 26 states so far have introduced bills or taken steps to restrict teaching critical race theory, or limit how teachers can discuss racism and sexism. According to an Education Week analysis, 9 states have enacted complete bans. These are mostly Republican states, banning critical race theory, banning Marxism, and unfortunately, there's still a very strong movement to get critical race theory in all 50 states. Now, it is unclear how the NEA will carry out its plans. However, I believe that the best defense is simply informing parents of what's going on. You know, in the past, I covered a story about how teachers were terrified, absolutely terrified. And if you want to watch that video, I'll link it down below. Why not? I'll link it in the comment section. But it was basically a video of terrified teachers saying on Zoom that they're scared of Zoom classes because the parents are going to see what the teachers are teaching their children. And in that video, I talk about how they were teaching critical race theory, Marxism, and basically far left, woke, toxic nonsense. Opponents of CRT say it is overly divisive, and it is wrong to teach young children that they are either oppressed or oppressors depending on the color of their skin. I couldn't have said it better, my friends. I could not have said it better. While this plan is approved, the NEA notes that it cannot be implemented until 2021 to 2022, and it's going to require an additional budget of $127,000 to carry out. This is a very serious story, my friends. It's brainwashing. That's what it is. It is indoctrination, and your tax dollars are paying for it. But that, my friends, is merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. Let me know what you think about this story. As I said, you should share it with concerned parents, with concerned citizens, with people you know who will be upset that this is going on, and maybe people who don't know. Show it to a Democrat parent. They may not agree with this nonsense either. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. As always, support the work I do by joining me on Patreon or Subscribestar. Currently, this channel is not monetized. It relies on viewers like you. You can check out my affiliates. If you want to donate, links are down below. Anyhow, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.